Sight Loss Sunday is for all churches, irrespective of whether or not there are people with sight loss in the congregation. However, as RNIB estimates that approximately 20% of any given community will experience sight loss in their lifetimes, it is extremely likely that at least one person in our church will have sight loss, although it may only be mild and the person may not have made us aware of it. We would like to take the opportunity and use Sight Loss Sunday as time to think about how we would respond if someone with sight loss came to visit or started to attend regularly. Sight loss is an all-encompassing term used to describe people whose vision is impaired and cannot be corrected through the use of spectacles or contact lenses. In the most extreme cases, this refers to people who are completely blind and require any or all of a long cane, guide dog, braille and audio material. However, it also refers to people who are losing their sight gradually or who only have a mild visual impairment and can read print which has been enlarged, or in the case of tunnel vision, made smaller. People do not need to register as sight impaired or severely sight impaired or blind in order for the term to apply to them. And indeed, as the biggest cause of sight loss is aging, many people may have sight loss but do not realise it or identify with the term. Sight Loss Sunday hopes to equip churches to enable blind and partially sighted people to contribute to church life. Many people with sight loss are able to adapt over time, often with the help of specialist support. Others may require more support from the community. Here at Trinity, we were encouraged to become a sight loss friendly church by our friends at Cause End, and in particular by David Reynolds, who is blind. David has led a number of services here and is a very valued member of the fellowship at Cause End. He sends this message for today.
Today is Sight Loss Sunday, and it's the Sunday where we try to understand the meaning of sight loss and how we as churches can support people with sight loss. It's a bit of a misnomer because when Torch Trust was formed many years back, it was formed to support blind and partially sighted people within their churches. A couple of years ago, I spoke to the president of the Torch Trust shortly before she died, and she told me that every day she prays for the closure of Torch Trust. Sadly, we're not at that point yet. And during the COVID crisis, I've spoken to many blind people who've not spoken to people for weeks. Many have letters unread. Many have pieces of work that they'd like doing. But unfortunately, due to COVID, this has not been possible. Sadly, many of those people belonged to churches. We're not a minority that shouts from the hilltops. We're not a minority who wants to be the centre of attention. But on Sight Loss Sunday, it may help if we start to examine and pray about our attitudes to people with disabilities or who are slightly different from us. I know that you as a church over the last years have been working very hard in the area of mental health. God knows it too and applauds it. And we hope that this Sunday it will give you a greater understanding of the needs of blind and visually impaired people within your church.